Welcome back to Sip the Tally Films. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and an impromptu stream. And what I'm going to try to do is try to sum up what I find and what I see throughout the day, from Ravens camp. Um, and I'm going to, take what I find via Twitter or Threads or TikTok or wherever I see it, and kind of put it all into a melting pot and give you my 2 cents on it and whatnot. And also take the post practice, I guess you would call them pressers. And if there's something interesting that I hear, I'll put it in my little notes. But you see, I got some notes and kind of talk about them a little bit. And so, while there's practice going on and there's no real game footage to go by doing so, that's what I'm gonna be doing. And so you may get one, you may not, but that's more reason for you to like, comment, and subscribe. More reason to do so. More reason for you to like, comment, and subscribe because you don't know when they're coming. They're gonna be out here fast, furious, and you just gotta be in tune. So if you have not subscribed, please do so. Please do so. All right, but let's get on into it. Let's get on into it, and I'll get you situated. Let me make my screen big enough on this side of it so I can see it. So guys that did not practice today, we got some guys that did not practice for various reasons, and really, I'll take you to Kyle Barber's Twitter, and his Twitter is Kyle P Barber on Twitter, and I'm going to take you through a few Twitters and show you some things that kind of stood out to me, and give the guys credit that actually tweeted because I ain't trying to take nobody's work, but things that stood out to me and kind of caught my eye as I was scrolling, either once practice had started or when it was over. So still make it a little bigger. I don't like how small that is because I ain't trying to see every tweet. It's certain ones. All right, so practice absences. Chase One exited yesterday, and then he listed, the guys and why they didn't practice. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins on pup, but Harbaugh mentioned yesterday it's more complicated than what it seems. Ricard's on the pup, Bateman's on the pup, Voorhees non-football related injury, Bowser non-football related injury, Pepe Williams pup, Trayvon Mullen non-football related injury, Nick Moore non-football related injury, and Makai Polk, who got picked up, today's Thursday, so Makai Polk got picked up late Tuesday afternoon, wasn't there in time enough to practice. He was at practice yesterday but was in shorts, actually got to practice today. I'm not sure what number he's wearing yet, but he actually got to practice today. A couple other things like this is that first red zone play for the Ravens. The drill started in the 5-yard line. Lamar Jackson completed the Nelson Aguilar against Marlon Humphrey, who took too long of a step backwards on a short curl. And so from what I'm hearing, that's the only touchdown they got out of the red zone periods earlier. So I scroll up to something else he said earlier. The first team finished 1 of 3 in red zone. Run up the middle gained 2 yards, and on the third play was an overthrow to Mark Andrews as Odafe Oweh leapt up to swat the ball. That's what we need to see out of Oweh. We need to see good things coming from Oweh. We need to see him making plays and progressing and just being a menace. Yeah, we just need him to be a menace. Next up that caught my attention, 2 pulled reps from Laquan Treadwell in the red zone. And I know it's just one day, but, Treadwell, I'd hope for more out of Treadwell. And it's just one day. So I ain't going to read too much into one day. But if he have multiple days like this, then we can kind of start seeing the writing on the wall and whatnot. But I'd hope to see more from Treadwell because he had so much promise coming out of college. He was that dude coming out of college. I don't know what went wrong in the NFL. I'm not going to act like I do, like I'm professional NFL psychologist. I don't know. But I just know coming out of college, he was a guy, and he hadn't put it all together in the NFL. So I was thinking or hoping maybe he would get some of that love, and I ain't gonna say love because I don't know if he loved the game or not. That's me reading into it. I don't have no facts on that. I was hoping he would get some of that, what I saw at Ole Miss in Baltimore. And he may get it back. Again, this is just one day. But it jumped balls versus Ardarius Washington and Corey Mayfield Jr. He couldn't break free in coverage. I think Kyle had something else. Huntley giveth and Huntley take it away. Talking about Tyler Huntley. And 11s. And that means 11 on 11 for those that don't know. I know most of y'all do know. But there will be some that don't know what 11s mean. That means 11 on 11. And then I know some people going to be like, well, ain't football 11 on 11? Well, in practice, sometimes you have 7 on 7. Sometimes you have 1 on 1s. Sometimes you have half line, which would be 3 on 3. Sometimes you have 9 on 7, which is run hull. It's a bunch of different numbers, and they mean a bunch of different things. So if you, in this case, 11s mean 11 offensive players versus 11 defensive players. All right, he completed the pass to Charlie Kolar for a 45-yard touchdown. And on the next play, the red zone from the 10-yard line, he targets Kolar, ball floats, and is intercepted by Jaquan Amos. So Tyler Huntley had, a yay and a series. He ended it with saying practice is wrapped here for day 2. The offense struggled, especially the second and third teams. A highlight was a Charlie Kolar touchdown from Tyler Huntley. The red zone drill, the offense went a combined 1 for 9, with Jackson's only completion to Aguilar for the lone touchdown. Now, I don't know if the first team got all 9 reps. I know they got the first 3, which he mentioned that earlier. And if you missed it, the first 3 reps, the first one was a touchdown to Nelson Aguilar. The second one was a run up the middle. And the third was a play to Mark Andrews that was knocked down by Odafe Owe. All right. So that was what I got out of Kyle Barber's tweets. So next up, I got a couple guys I kind of go to look at. The next guy was Jonas Schaefer's. Let me get to Jonas Schaefer's. I kind of scroll down too far. I'm getting there. I'm basically trying to be your one-stop shop because I know some of y'all got to work and can't really be on, and I'm trying to wrap it all up for you in about 5 or 10 minutes. All right, so let's go to Jonas Schaefer's. He said, Ravens wide receiver Mekhi Pope, Hail State, is back at practice, but there's no changes to training camp attendance, which we just talked about earlier with the tweet from Kyle Barber. He didn't have much in here. I think this is what I wanted from him. Some of today's standouts. Safety Jaquan Amos had a nice pick near the goal line in 11 versus 11. We mentioned that also from Kyle Barber. He says wide receivers Tariq Black, James Prochet, Tylan Wallace had a handful of catches, although Black left early. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned James Prochet had a handful of catches. That's the only reason I put that in there. Just wanted to make sure I let y'all know that James Prochet had a handful of catches. Did that mean something? Nope. I just wanted to say James Prochet has some catches at practice. That's it. Like the video too. Tight end Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kolar. Some of today's longer catches. I had 2 more that I was looking at. Let me see. Yeah, again, I just wanted to say James Prochet had some catches. That's all. That's it. Yeah, I know y'all gonna bash me about it, but it is what it is. That's my dog. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. Next guy was a new guy I found on Twitter today. His name is at Chris Arim. It's CRISRHIM. So today is my first day even seeing him on Twitter. And he covers Twitter for, I'll tell you in a second. I'll tell you in 1 second. But this was the tweet from him that I thought. He says, second day of Ravens training camp just wrapped. And his first thoughts. The defense won today. The offense was much slower than yesterday. And there were no Odell catches. So what I try to do is try to follow the guys that actually get a chance to go to camp, since me myself can't be there. And then I try to pick and choose who I can pull from. And that's what I do. That's what I do. I try to pick and choose who I can choose from. And again, he says this guy covers the Ravens for Baltimore Banner. I don't know what Baltimore Banner is. You guys can put it in the chat box or the comment. Why I can't see my chat box? Hold on, what's going on here? There you go. Now I see my chat box. What up, good people? Now I see y'all. I thought I was in here talking to myself. What's good? Thought I was in here talking to myself. Now I see y'all. I appreciate y'all coming through. All right, and lastly, I go to our mainstay, Jeff Rebrick. And Jeff didn't have much today. He talked about, I think he had one tweet that I really want to mention. Let me find it for you. He talked about Tyreek Black leaving with the trainer, appears to be holding his lower back. And he also mentioned the same thing we mentioned earlier about Ravens' second practice camp ends with Justin Tucker drilling a long field goal, something we know is during the automatic. Not a ton of offensive highlights. Likely and Kolar relatively long catches. Prochet made a nice play in traffic. Hold on. Let me read that again. Prochet made a nice play in traffic. Just wanted y'all to see the smile on my face when I read that. That's all. All right, back to it. Defense dominated in red zone drills. UDFA safety Jaquan Amos had an interception, and Darius Washington had a nice play also. Now that's all as far as the Twitter, stuff I found on Twitter. As far as watching the post-practice pressers, this is what I took, and I got something from Harbs, Marcus Williams, Zay Flowers, and Odell. And I'll wrap this thing up pretty quick. I don't know how it's been 11 minutes. We're not going past 15 minutes. So listening to Harbs talked about the big boys. He mentioned alignment, assignment, communication, and technique. And that's really the starting point for all O-linemen. You want to make sure they know where to align, know their assignment, know the communication across the line, and make sure they're taking the proper steps at the right angles, at the proper depth, and stuff like that. That's all. That's basic O-line work. Basic. And once you get 5 guys to have proper alignment, assignment, communication, and technique, then they can start to work as one. Because you want 5 guys to work as one. And if you can get that, then you got a good O-line. You got 5 guys working as one. And there's a bunch of nuance I can get into to give you or to show you ideas of how that works. But I'll wait till we get film and show you examples of it working rather than just tell you. Because, some people are visual learners, and I'm a visual teacher too. Sometimes I ain't good with my words. I'd rather just show you. But again, next up, he also talked about how he was impressed with Charlie Kolar today. And I mentioned in a couple of tweets, Kolar had a long touchdown. So, we know we got Likely. We know we got Mark. Kolar had a good second day based off of the tweets that I saw and Harbaugh actually mentioning him by name in the press conference. Next up, I watched, and I didn't watch him in order, so I watched them after the fact once they chopped it up. Next up, I watched Marcus Williams. And Marcus talked about building chemistry with Kyle Hamilton. And we know that's going to be a big deal because Kyle was in the box a lot at a kind of different position, basically playing slot corner. Now he's actually the other safety. So the communication between those two has to be on point. And with them building that chemistry, no matter how they doing it, whether it be in the film room or whether it be, talking at practice or whether it be away from the facility, whether they do stuff, outside, which ain't mandatory, but it helps. It ain't helps. He also mentioned putting the emphasis on the players to produce. He talked about it being somebody asked him about it being the second year in the system, but he said, yes, the second year, and yeah, the coaches, there, but the players have to do what they're coached to do. So basically saying that, yeah, the coaches coach, but we got to play. We meaning the players, not me, we. I'm an athlete. My day's over with. AFTERLETE, athlete. Merch, click the link. Go to the merch, get your athlete shirt. But that's what I am. So, but the players got to play. All right. Lastly, Marcus talked about how important correction was in the film room. So basically, if they do something wrong on the field, he talked about how important it was for them to go into the film room, talk to each other, and talk to the coaches, get it right. So when the situation arises again, the same mistake don't happen. Mistakes gonna happen, just as long as you're not creating the same mistake over and over. Because mistakes gonna happen. That's football. It's football. Nobody's gonna be perfect. All right. Next up, I watched Zay Flowers. He talked about loving his new nickname, Joystick, and Joystick is fairly accurate. It's fairly accurate. If any of you guys out there play Madden or been, have played Madden in the past, it's an ability out there called Joystick. And it does resemble what Zay Flowers has been putting in different little snippets of video, whether it be in South Florida, catching passes or whatever with Lamar, or these little clips we've been getting from practice from the Ravens or other reporters or whatnot. So definitely joystick fits. What up, Bing Raven? Joystick fits him perfectly. And he also said his brother used to be called Joystick. He also talked about how Todd Monken is putting everyone in different positions. That's going to be key for matchup situations. Because if you get a team that don't have a good second or a slot corner, and you can interchange your guys in different positions, you just wherever they put the weak corner, you go. And I'll give you an example. We all hate Eli Apple. Everybody hate Eli Apple. I don't know where he at. But let's just say, for the sake of saying, Eli Apple is the sorry corner on the field. For the sake of saying it. I don't know if he's sorry or not, but just for the sake of saying it, he's the sorry corner. So they say they move Eli Apple outside. Well, you put whoever your best guy is outside and run whatever plays you run. Say they try to hide Eli Apple and put him in the slot. You take whatever receiver that is that's cooking him, put him in the slot. And with everybody knowing all the positions, you can do that. Now, if you got a guy that just plays outside right, you can't do that. If you got a guy that just plays slot, you can't do that. If you got a guy that just plays outside left, can't do that. What is this? This is some randomness. It's called Camp Notes. That's what it's called, Hendo. It's called Camp Notes. Now, it's random. You got to have your notifications on to get these. Got to have your noties on. Let's see, you made me forget where I was. Oh, here we go. Oh, they asked him about practice. Zay said practice was a little easier in the NFL level than it is at college. Obviously, that happens because this is only his second practice. But you know, in the NFL, they try not to practice very hard for player safety. And we saw what happened in two different other camps today. One being a non-contact injury. I don't know how Ramsey got hurt, but I'll find out eventually. But we saw what happened with Burrow. And so they don't practice very hard in the NFL. It's more mental than anything. But saying that, Harbaugh did mention it's amazing how great of athletes these guys are. And they run around so fast and do all the stuff that they ask them to do at practice. And they don't go to the ground. Like, they don't fall. There's not a lot of collisions. They ain't tripping over each other. They running full speed and they breaking down in enough time to pull up and not hit each other. That is something I wish we could have did more on the high school level. And we tried, but let one DB get caught on and somebody on the sideline holler, "Ooh, he hitting everything that move." No matter if we in tops, shirts, helmets, full gear, it don't take but one wrong thing to happen to a defensive player, and he's smacking everything that move. And no matter what, if we just in helmets or we just in shells, it don't matter. one blur and it's a wrap. Defense smacking everything. They trying to smack everything, and me, I'm throwing my hat. I'm getting mad. I'm telling the coach, like, look, we walking up, we doing something. Because there's been times where I almost got the fisticuffs with the defense hitting people we don't supposed to be hitting. So, but that's another story for another time. You want to know more about that story or stories like that? Join the Patreon and come to the Discord and ask me them questions. I tell you plenty of them stories. I got plenty of them. Got plenty of hats with grass stains on them for me doing that. Or just taking my papers and just throwing them because it's plenty of stories. But again, let me stay on topic. Matter of fact, you get more stories like that if you buy your ticket to come to the meet and greet. That's where you can get plenty in-person stories like that. Get your ticket to come to the meet and greet. You get plenty of stories like that. Exclamation point tickets. Somebody type in exclamation point tickets and let that pop up. Hendo, do that. All right. And then lastly, he said something that really resonated with me. He said somebody gave him some advice. I don't know if it was his dad or not. Talking about Zay Flowers. He said, smile, stay happy, and play football. That's awesome. Smile, stay happy, play football, and just be yourself. That's some great advice. Don't change who you are for nobody. And he really has an infectious smile. And I can tell that smile is not fake, because when somebody went and found clips of him playing basketball, he had that same smile on the court. So that's naturally him. And the last guy I watched on the press conference was Odell. Um, what he said interesting to me that stood out to me was he said sometimes people and places are not meant to be together, and he referenced him and Monken being in Cleveland. And we all know what happened with Odell in Cleveland and Baker and with Odell's dad saying what he said, and we know that saga. We know that saga. But if you notice on my channel, I didn't put any plays or stuff of when Monken was in Cleveland as the offensive coordinator because he didn't call the plays. He didn't call the plays, so why would I go and put stuff on there? You know what I'm saying? So maybe he wasn't happy in Cleveland, but he left Cleveland. Like Odell said, left Cleveland, won national championship at Georgia twice. Odell left Cleveland, won Super Bowl in the Rams. So maybe Cleveland just wasn't there for him. Cleveland was their season and a reason in the season, however that saying goes. He also said he understands that he's the older guy in the room. He's a leader in the room. And the calmness that Odell talked with, I can see the dad glow on him. I can see the difference in the Odell that fussed at the kicking net or that complained a lot. I can see that dad glow on him. The maturity, the calmness, the understanding that, hey, I do know other people are looking at me. Other people look up to me. Other people respect me. That, yes, I'm a leader to these other young men, but I do want to get my shine too. He talked about the different dances that he planned on doing, the bird flu, I think it's the Park Heights strut, and all these different things. I know he gonna do it. You already know Odell gonna show out once he get in the end zone. We already know it. But again, and lastly, he talked about how good the defense was and how the defense is going to prepare them offensively. He talked about like having an all-pro at safety, having all-pro at corner, having all-pro at linebackers, how well the defense is going to prepare the offense to get ready on a daily basis. He said he looks forward to competing. He looks forward to slowly ramping up to be ready come September. He also threw a little shot out there, not necessarily at the Ravens, but at the NFL's all-season schedule in general, speaking on OTAs. And he didn't say it, but he also looked like, why are we having these mandatory practices and we don't play till September? So he's going to ramp his stuff up, and he said he wants to be peaking at week 1. So you won't see full Odell, like full snag until week 1, week 2, week 3, which is understandable for me. Let them other guys go out there, because we know what Odell can do. He didn't forget how to play football. His body just failed him. So that's what we got going on, man. And if I'm gonna make time, because these streams may come to you at like today at 7:38, may come to you at 9:38, may come to you at 11. It just depends on when I can, because life gonna life, as Mike say, life gonna life, and if you need your notifications on so you can get them when you get them. And if we don't have practice, obviously you won't get them. So I appreciate you guys for coming through. Everybody that came through, thank you. If you didn't see the power rankings on More Sip to Tally, go over there and check that thing out, man. That was a lot of work. We finished it yesterday. We wrapped it up with the Ravens being the number 1 team. Go check it out. I appreciate everybody. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let's get it back to rolling. And again, the loyalty points restart on Tuesday. I'm resetting everything Tuesday morning when I wake up, and we'll have our first giveaway September 1. I'm also going to have a giveaway for the Patreons the first week of August. I'll probably do it. I ain't going to tell you when I do it. I'm going to do it early in August. I have a first Patreon only giveaway the first week of August, but the actual loyalty points stuff restart August 1st. And August 1st, I'll have a stream to tell you what you need to do to build your points up. And so I appreciate y'all, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all Thursday night. Peace.